Hi there, welcome to day 7 of the Advent of Projects. I'm going to be sharing a box with you today, something a little bit different. We're going to be using a full 12 by 12 inch sheet of DSP. Now if you are wanting to work in centimetres, I'm going to try and remember to give all the measurements on both metric and imperial as we go through. So if you're working in imperial, you want a full 12 by 12 inch, and if you're working in centimetres, you want to just trim it to 30 centimetres by 30 centimetres. So you're literally taking a little half a centimetre off the edge. So I want the pattern paper here to be on the outside, so I'm going to work from the inside, and you're going to score at 3 inches, at 6 inches, 9 inches in that one direction. So if you're working in metric, you want to score yours at 7.5 centimetres, 15 centimetres and 22.5 centimetres. So this project will actually work provided you can split a measurement into 4. So for example, if you were using a 10 inch by 10 inch piece of DSP, you would then split that into 2.5 inch sections. So it works for all sort of sizes. So, you know, you can have a play around with making some different sizes of this. Okay, so I'm just going to spin it around the other way. And again, I want to do the same measurements again. So that is 3 inches or 7.5 centimetres, 6 inches or 15 centimetres, 9 inches or 22.5 centimetres. Okay, so you can see we've literally split this page into 12 squares. Okay, now you may be able to do some of this on the next part on scoreboard, or some of it may be in your trimmer. I'm going to use just an embossing tool and a ruler, because I think it's going to be a tight squeeze even to get it into my trimmer. So the next thing we want to do is to create some diagonal lines. So I'm going to start off in one corner. Just got a piece of card there, I can see. And I just want to score across, first of all, in one direction. Okay, I want to miss the next intersection of score lines, and I'm going to move to the next one. Now, even my ruler won't go across this, so you're just going to have to do a couple of squares at a time. And then come down to this one. Okay, I then want to miss that centre diagonal, and I'm going to go with the next diagonal along. This is really simple. Okay, and same again, I want to miss one, and I'm just going to diagonal across this corner here. Okay, so I don't know if you can see those lines on here. So now I want to turn it just 90 degrees, and I'm going to start in the other corner, and I'm just going to repeat exactly what I've just done. So I'm going to score one, miss one, score one, miss one, score the next one. Oops. I'm going to miss one, and then I'm going to score this last one just in the corner here. So I don't know how well you can see that, but I've got score lines going diagonally in this direction and in the opposite direction, and then you'll have like a cross in the middle. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just burnish all these score lines so that you can see exactly where they are. And I'm not going to do it with a bone folder at this stage, because it's DSP, it's a little bit lighter than your cardstock, so you want to just make sure that we're not going to create too many burnished lines which are going to cause it to crack. Although I have to say the Speciality DSP is very good because it tends to be a little bit more robust. Okay, so lose track of where you've been. As long as we've folded all score lines. So you should end up with a square in the middle. Just fold in the opposite direction. There's a little bit of origami here really. Okay, so as you can see, we've now got this sort of square in the middle, or diamond shape if we're looking at it in that direction. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is to deal with these corners here. Now I want to actually glue these down towards the centre of my card. So remember, this is the inside of my paper, not card as I've just said. Get so used to working in card. I'm just going to fold these in here. You could cut them off if you wanted to, but I prefer to do it this way because it just makes it a little bit stronger. I will just go back round and make sure that they're all stuck properly. Okay, so now what we want to do is we want to start creating our box. So this is going to be our centre square here, and we're going to pull these pieces up at the side, and as I do so I want to fold this section into the middle. Now you could do this with a bone folder, but I find it's easier just to push it in and then pinch it together, and then you know roughly where that's going to be, and then we haven't got those bent, really strong score lines again. So that's what we want to create in each corner. So I'm going to push up the sides here, and then this section I just want to fold gently over, just making sure that it all lines up nicely. Just take your time just to make sure you get a nice sort of corner on it. If it's struggling a little bit, then just persevere and pinch it lightly, and then eventually it will go exactly where you want it to go. Okay, so I'm going to repeat again. So I'm bringing up this piece here and I'm bending it into the middle, just making sure that it lines up, pinching it into place, and again just going to pinch down these centre pieces, which I forgot to do on that one, and again last one. So you're bringing up the corner and then you're going to press this V so that it goes inwards, and then squeeze the two pieces. Okay, so we have a little basket now. So basically what is going to happen is this is going to go inwards and it's going to create like a little star. And once you've done this one a few times, you kind of get to know where it goes. So just bear with it. So these pieces on the side are going to fold inwards and up, and then these ones are going to go towards the centre. As I say, once it's got its shape, then you're absolutely fine and it will stick in place. So this is going to be your box. We've got some collapsed sides at the moment, but that's it. So can you see that's how your box is going to end up? So what it actually creates inside are some little triangular storage spaces. So it's really great for some sweet treats and things like that, so you can pop them in here. So when you're actually putting stuff in here, you want to make sure it's kind of pushed towards the edge rather than in the center of your box. So what I would do is just to create a reinforced section for that middle, just to ensure that it actually holds it nice and strong for you. So I can tell you how big you will need to cut that. So I would cut it a 4 1/8 square, or if you're working in centimetres, you're going to be about 10 centimetres. You might have to trim that just slightly because it's very slightly smaller. But what we want to do now is to create our holes so that we can tie it up. So in each corner, you're going to push it together until you've got this here. So you've got that folded section in the middle. And then I'm going to pop it into my hole punch. And I want the holes to be at this section here, so in this V. So what I want to ensure is when I pop it in, my hole is going to sort of be around here. Okay, so I'm going to pop this one in, and I usually set my guide on this just so that I know that they're all going to be roughly in the same place. But if you haven't got a handheld like I have, then feel free to you know, measure and work out your holes. Okay, so you can see, if I move that out of the way, I've now gone through those 4 layers. So I'm going to repeat it for the other 3 corners. Okay, so once you've made your holes, you may also like to consider maybe reinforcing these holes. You can do that by just using a hole punch and a small circle punch, or a die, just to make like a little eyelet just to go onto those. It just protects the paper from tearing. However, if you're just going to wrap your present up and be done with it, then I think the best thing to do is just to carry on and get it filled up. So I would fill this with some sweet treats probably. Again, you could put in some small cosmetics maybe. You know, it's entirely up to you. These are just designs for sharing our beautiful papers and presents really. So I'm going to use some ribbon just to tie that up now so that you can see it when it's all complete. Now, in this suite, we do have a beautiful ribbon, which is Blush and Bride, that has sort of frayed, sort of grosgrain ribbon. It's absolutely beautiful, but it is just a little bit thick for this particular project. So what I would say is to try and use something a little bit thinner. I'm using this beautiful organdy ribbon, and this is our glimmer one. So, you know, just feel free to use whatever you want, obviously. And you're going to weave through the holes. Now, again, at this point, you really would want to have filled your box before we start doing this too much, because you'll see it will start to come together. But you might want to start it off and then go from there. So you're going to need a reasonable length of ribbon for this. I'm not sure how much exactly. Bear with me and I will give you a rough idea. Yeah, I would say that you are going to need about 24 inches, so about 2 feet, and that's about 60 centimetres in metric. So I will see how correct I am when we get round to the other side. So you'll see, if you've started to fill it, then this will automatically hold its shape. It's collapsing very slightly because I've got nothing in it. So just, you know, be reassured that once you've got stuff in it, it actually holds really well. And in fact, it will hold really well once it's together. So Okay, so once you've threaded it, then I'd say go ahead and fill the box. Okay, so if I can open this up a little, just so that you can see what I mean. Okay, so you can see where it's open, and we're going to push this into the middle. Now, can you see these sections here actually create like a center in the actual box itself? So when it's actually closed, anything that you've got in these little triangles here will be encased behind that actual piece. So you shouldn't lose anything, hopefully. I'm just going to pull the ribbon through. To be a little, one of my tails is a bit longer than the other, so I'm just going to pull it through a little bit more. So once this fiddly bit's done, then it's all secure. There we go. That's better. So the ribbon length was about correct, so I said about 24 inches 2 feet, or about 60 centimetres in metric. And I'm going to just tie my bow on top. Now, if you want to, you can obviously trim those ends just slightly. I might give them just a very small trim. So you want to keep them quite long, and this ribbon particularly is beautiful because it kind of holds its shape really nicely, so wherever you put it, it kind of holds there. Okay, so that is our little box for today. As I say, I would personally just add a little tag to it maybe, or create some kind of little arrangement that you could attach to your ribbon. I'll do a little tag, and so that you can see what I mean when it's actually completed. So I hope you like that today. Something a little bit different again. Quick and easy to make, so they make nice little table gifts as well, or if you've just got a little something you want to give to your neighbours or anything like that, really. So it makes a really nice, quick, easy little packaging. Okay, I will see you tomorrow. Bye.